You know that moment in a game when one decision completely flips everything? You're looking at the battlefield, your team's about to get wiped, and suddenly you realize, if I use this ability on that target, I can turn this whole thing around. That's the kind of strategy that hooked me about this game. It's not just about having the strongest champions, it's about building the right combos, countering enemy setups, and nailing the exact timing of your abilities. And here's the crazy part. We're talking about multiple different champions, each with completely unique skill sets and literally thousands of ways to combine them. No two fights ever play out the same way. I played through pretty much the entire campaign and I was genuinely surprised. This game has way more interesting gameplay mechanics and legitimate strategy than anyone gives it credit for. Plus the game has a genuinely massive active player base. It was easy to look up help and understand the game better and be part of that whole community. So if all that sounds like your kind of game, let me introduce you to Raid Shadow Legends, and I got something to set you up for success. This is important because using my QR code or download link means you get tons of free stuff like the 2 epic champions Uugo and, when you hit level 15, you get Drake. 500k silver, 10 magic brews, a full day XP booster and energy refills for free. This can be a huge head start to the game that could be hours of grinding otherwise, and you're definitely going to have a great time at the game. But of course you might be wondering what's the best way to start and the builds you want to be going for. So that's exactly why we decided to play through the entire early game progression to create this comprehensive starter guide. This is literally everything we wish we knew when we first started. The first important thing to remember is when you get past the tutorial, you get to pick from 4 rare starters, and there's one that's way better than the others. Kayle is hands down the best choice, because there's one thing that makes this guy really strong, and that's his ability to apply poison debuffs that scale on enemy max HP, making him incredibly strong against clan bosses and dungeons. His AoE ability recharges his turn meter by 25% for each enemy kill, letting him chain wipe entire waves. Elhain is probably the second best pick with multiple AoE attacks. Gallic and Athel are fine, but nothing too special about them. Your account progression is not going to be ruined by picking any other 3, but you're just going to be at a significant advantage if you're using Kayle. But here's what 99% of players completely miss. There are 5 legendary promo codes, and you can only pick one. This single decision will literally shape your entire early game and save you months of early game grinding. We're going to start with the best one. Monkey King gets you Sun Wukong, and this guy is absolutely broken. He steals all buffs from all enemies before attacking, then places block buffs so they can't rebuff themselves. His A1 also has a 75% chance to stun enemies that have buffs active, but the most insane part, his passive revive. 3 turns after death he comes back with 100% health and full turn meter. This makes him perfect for long boss fights and solo strategies. Get Alice gives you Alice the Wanderer, and she has this awesome ability to manipulate cooldowns. Her A2 increases enemy cooldowns by 2 turns and reduces their turn meter by 15% or 30% if their cooldown gets maxed. You're not just delaying abilities, you're pushing them back in turn order. Her A3 ignores 20% defense, and if you kill the primary target, it automatically attacks their most vulnerable ally. Plus her passive deals bonus damage against enemies with skills on cooldown. Tree Hugger unlocks Greenwood and Rock from the Sylvan Watchers faction with that insane nature aesthetic. Honestly middle of the pack as legendaries go, but he's got unique taunt mechanics and his passive gives teammates shields when they take big hits, making him absolutely perfect for certain hard-hitting boss fights. Desert Queen gets you Tuhanarok from the Barbarians faction, and if you're into that fierce warrior aesthetic with battle scars and massive weapons, she brings versatility that works across all content types. She's honestly a bit disappointing for a Void level legendary because she's got these RNG heavy debuff spread mechanics that makes her pretty hit or miss. Demon Slayer gives you Tholin Foulbeard, and this guy's a boss killer. Each hit he deals decreases enemy attack by 5% while increasing his attack by 5%, stacking up to a whole 50% damage increase. His aesthetic is really nice too, not gonna lie. Now remember, download the game using the QR or link down below, and you'll only get 72 hours to redeem these promo codes. Feel free to pick any of them based on what you like about them, but in my opinion I'd recommend going for Monkey King Sun Wukong, because simply the combo of his buff stealing, defense ignore and full revive passive makes him a one-man army. So if you did all that correctly, you're already ahead of most players by starting out the game with 2 epics and a legendary champion, and you've got Kayle. Now Kayle is absolutely critical, because regardless of whether you've used those promo codes or not, one of your main priorities is to focus everything on getting him to a 6-star level immediately. This is where most players screw up completely, by spreading resources too thin and having multiple 2 or 3-star champions that provide no value. Even before getting to 6 stars, Kayle can become your campaign farmer. That's a champion who's already at a much higher level than the others and can solo carry your team through stages. Since you'll be focusing most of your resources on upgrading Kale, he's going to be plenty strong enough to carry the rest of your team through campaign levels. This means every time you win, you're farming XP for your lower level champions while Kale does all the heavy lifting. And trust me, you'll see those champions start leveling up fast. Your goal is to push through campaign until you hit stage 12 level 3. Once you can farm that stage reliably on the hardest difficulty you can handle, you just keep grinding it over and over to get your champions the most amount of XP for leveling up. That's pretty much your entire early game plan right there. But how exactly do you level up a champion? Because this system confuses the hell out of new players. So you have your Kale, you level them up by sacrificing other champions of equal level or chickens of equal level. We'll talk about how you can get more champions soon. You can also use brews to level faster, but those are harder to come by early on. Now here's where it gets interesting. You level your champion to their max level, let's say level 20 for a 2-star, but then you can't go any higher. The game literally won't let you. So what do? You upgrade their rank. When you upgrade rank, you start back at level 1, but now you're a 3-star champion instead of 2-star. Then you level him to 30, then you upgrade rank again to 4-star using 3 3-star food champions, level him to 40, then upgrade to 5-star using 4 4-star champions, and finally to 6-star using 5 5-star champions. By the way, don't get tempted into upgrading multiple champions to 5 stars instead. This is a massive trap that will slow your progression to a crawl. It's much more beneficial to upgrade just one champion to 6 stars because the stat jump is enormous, and it unlocks Masteries, which are game-changing abilities that can significantly increase your champion's effectiveness and overall damage. One last thing to beef up Kale. When your account hits level 3, you unlock the Apprentice Pass with a full set of 5-star lifesteal gear. Equip that on Kale immediately. This armor set lets Kale heal himself every time he does damage. This is going to be a massive help for solo farming the campaign stages. As you can see here, my 5-star Kale managed to stay alive because of the lifesteal armor and somehow pulled off the win. But it doesn't end there. There's also champion masteries. Masteries are going to be a massive grind in the beginning of this game. There's this dungeon called Minotaur Labyrinth, and you farm these scrolls to get your masteries. But the catch is you don't get to pick which champions get the scrolls. They just randomly go to one of your champions once you've won the fight. But here's what most people don't know. You can buy all masteries for 800 gems. Even free to play, you'll get 800 gems through dailies and beginner tournaments. Use your first 800 gems on Kale's masteries. Once he's maxed, scrolls can't go to him anymore, making it way easier to farm for everyone else. Once you unlock the Great Hall, focus on upgrading the accuracy affinities, probably magic accuracy, because your starting champions are most likely going to be magic. While masteries are specific to that champion, these affinity upgrades carry across everyone. For instance, Kale needs accuracy to land his poisons. Most new players ignore this and get stuck at getting maybe 25% of what your champion can actually do for you. In fact, accuracy is much more important in this game than most people even realize. Anytime you want to do something to an enemy other than just raw damage, like debuffing them, stealing their turn meter, transferring debuffs, literally anything, you need accuracy to make it stick. That's why accuracy in the Great Hall is absolutely the first place you should be putting your points. After that, I usually go crit damage, defense, or HP, but that's up to you. I would leave attack for dead last because attack only benefits about 1/3 of the champions in Raid Shadow Legends anyway. Shards are crucial for champion acquisition, and proper usage can make or break your account progression. You get mystery shards from the campaign and in the market. They contain common, uncommon, and very occasionally rare champions. These should be used immediately for food to level up other champions. Ancient shards are obtained from dungeons, missions, quests, and clan boss, and they contain rare, epic, or legendary champions. The critical thing here is that you should always save these for summon events that increase the rates, particularly 2x events which double your chances of landing higher rarity champions. These events happen regularly, so patience pays off massively. Void shards are obtained from missions and clan boss and contain rare, epic, and legendary void affinity champions only. Like ancient shards, you want to save these for 2x events because void champions often have unique advantages in specific game modes. Sacred shards are the most premium option. They're only obtained from missions and clan bosses, and they contain epic or legendary champions only. However, they're much harder to come by than other shard types, making them incredibly valuable. In Summon Rush events, sacred shards are worth 500 points, making them extremely efficient for completing events. Primal shards give you access to mythical champions with a very low chance, and they're most commonly earned from events. They also contain rare, epic, and legendary champions, making them valuable even when you don't hit the mythical jackpot. At this point, you're pretty much all set to go. As you can see in my gameplay, my Kale is absolutely steamrolling the campaign, and I only started playing this week. Of course, this only worked because of the benefits of the starter packs you get from using the download link below, or the QR code, or even the free legendary champion you can get to carry the early game. After that, your daily routine is pretty much keeping an eye on the daily quest challenges and missions. These hand out all kinds of useful rewards like silver, shards, gear, even chickens. Also, pay special attention to the artifact challenges. This will ask you to farm specific campaign stages for gear, so try to plan your path to kill 2 birds with 1 energy refill. Daily quests are pretty easy, and they help you build weekly progress towards a free ancient shard. Don't sleep on the progress missions either. These guide you step by step and give you some serious long-term rewards like sacred shards and eventually even the legendary champion arbiter. Save shards for summon events, don't waste silver on weak gear, and don't blow gems on silly little stuff. Your gem mine produces passive income. At level 3, it's 1 gem every hour and 36 minutes. If you're playing long-term, upgrade it for a good return on investment. There's also the sparring pit where you can throw champions and they'll passively level up. It's like 2,200 XP per hour. It's worth paying to unlock all the slots, but I wouldn't bother upgrading them right away. Other than that, just prioritize getting a couple champions to 6 stars and focus on their masteries to maximize their potential. Because remember, the grind is absolutely brutal otherwise. That's it. Good luck. Remember, if you're going to be playing the game, you really need to be using my QR code or the link in the pinned comment. Also remember, you only have 72 hours to redeem one of the 5 free legendary champions. Make sure you do that immediately.